Makosamadle, sanibonani bafethu, and welcome back to Football Trends with me, QB. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be excited by the news that I'm going to share. On today's video, bafethu, there's something that I know a lot of people overlook, but currently there are rumors that Kaizer Chiefs have offered Naledi Hlongwane a contract, a senior team contract, meaning bafuna umsusanga le DDC, and then they bring him up to the senior level. Now, I'm not too sure how true this is, but if ever it is true, I'm going to talk to you about it in Nigeze, because for now, even though it's coming from a bit of a bit reliable, not reliable source, but obviously I'm going to give you something that is legit later on. If ever I do find something that is legit, this is Football Trends QB, where we bring you some of the best and the latest news when it comes to Kaizer Chiefs. And then also another thing, I know you guys are going to be excited about. Coach Nazarene Nabi has spoken about 3 players from ETDC as Yuti Nagajani Oyabafuna ngale senior team. Now he has spoken beautiful with those players. I just hope Uti Batole that chance, because if you listen to the coach very carefully, this is what he had to say. He said, this is where he starts. He said, I haven't forgotten Mbutu, which is Nkosana Mbutu. Remember the young SC game? I didn't forget him. And Pelembe, which is Umangoba Ozimena Ushenenabi. If there was no pressure at Kaizer Chiefs, you can give the young players a chance, but then there's a lot of pressure, and when the results are not very good, you have to manage where you have to put them to play, because if you put them in a bad situation, you can kill their career, which is something that we've talked about. Well, let me continue. There are a lot of young players, and we're waiting for the right time. The plan when we discussed with the board for the season was that we must build a team, and also we have to keep our young players, the DDC, and give them a chance. Every time we try to bring a player from DDC, they can make session with us, and we'll see if they're ready, because we don't think about how old they are. If they deserve to play, they must play. Now, another player Bafetu is Aiden McCarthy Kumbule. The game against Mamelodi Sundowns, Kumbule Inaso Mikel was injured, and we saw Aiden McCarthy Bafetu. Like I've said, we need to at least give that boy a chance. I thought like to spam scheme, but unfortunately, it defensively looked a bit solid, so he did not get that chance to be able to prove himself, prove his worth. But I do know for a fact Bafetu Tumfana, if he doesn't get a loan, he's definitely going to get that chance that I was talking about. Aiden McCarthy, I just hope I fix it in Gengazaki, but so far I haven't had many complaints about him. I just hope Uti Umfana actually chance. So those are the 3 players Coach Nazarene Nabi has spoken about, meaning those 3 players, we might get to see them going to the senior team. Not too sure when, but Naganjane, it's something that will happen. And then, like I've said earlier on, we've spoken about Yusuf Mat and Buza Bafetu question. Would you like to see Yusuf Mat getting a contract, activating that 2-year option that he has on the contract, because his contract is running out June, and then also we're gonna have him, either sign for that 2-year period, which Shilo Ejake is going to be 32. Now, if we do sign him, we must remember it's either Faisal Salum or Yaya Sitole. Either of those 2 players, one of them is going to be sacrificed, because looking and judging by how things are, George Matlow is another player whose contract is coming to an end, and it's highly possible they might let him go. I do not know for sure, but they might let him go. So the serious player who they are seriously considering giving him a contract is Yusuf Mat. And then also Naledi Hlongwane. If ever the rumors are true, it looks like he might be joining the senior team 11. Another thing that coach was impressed about was Wandile Tuba. Now he does think mentality yake is a bit down sometimes, because sometimes sometimes it doesn't give you what he wants. So that's another thing that I was thinking about when it comes to our players, because sometimes our player, mentality wise, you know them from the training. Even yesterday, I was with Cameroon. We couldn't upload. We went to Nashorena. Actually, we passed by Nashorena. We did not see much activity because I think it's really late, around Bomber 4. We wanted to do a recording club, but we were shower is cutty, so we could not get there and then try to get something for you guys. But trust me, and we did see activity in it. It was the young players, not the senior team. I think it was under 15, under 17. So yeah, I'm sorry about that, but we did pass by in Ashurena hoping to see whether Abachita by a trainer or where's Alani. But anyways, as a collab, so like I was saying, he said every time whenever we try to bring a DDC player, and we should not bring that player to a bad situation. Meaning, coach uzolungisa, he is waiting to make sure with the team, like I've always been saying, we need to make sure that we bring the players, the young players, in a good environment, not with spalite environment so that we destroy them, which is something that coach is saying now. And this could be back then on previous videos when we talked about bringing in the young talent. I'm happy he does consider them whenever there's an injury or there's a problem, because if he was someone else, he was going to be like, no, I'm not going to use those young boys, but he does consider them. And another thing, I hope Bafetu zibe grand, so that we can be able to bring in the young players. Some of those young players Bafetu marvelous to watch. So I just hope we can try to bring them in, but not on a bad situation, not on a bad environment. Just like I've said and I've spoken about this young player, Emil Witboy Bafetu does perform very well, but bringing him into Betway Premiership, I think it was the matter of his team. If his team was performing, I think he would have shined, just like Lamal Yamain is shining Bafetu. Let's be honest, but the reason why he's shining so much is because the environment that was created for him, that with Barcelona, very good conditions. So they just needed that extra something. Abazi, which it's not talent to they think a good environment, and then later on a great environment. He even played on international level. I'm Bafetu, like that is something. So for me, I just hope we're fixing Gazetu. We focus on Nedbank Cup. We try to lift the Nedbank Cup. Kumbule Bafetu, we have 2 games, 2 derbies, A3 and A10. May, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So I hope. One thing I know for sure, we might not be able to beat Orlando Pirates Guy 2, but we can beat them Guy 1. For me, if we can beat them in Nedbank Cup, I would be happy. You solve inking as but if we lose, then fun. We've made it. And then we're gonna see next season Nakona, depending on the signings that we're going to get. Kumbule, like I've said, Kaizer Chiefs management have started opening talks for players that they want, asking information. Can we be able to have that player? Another rumor out there, Fiston Maele, not Faisal Salum. Fiston Maele is another player whom we might get to see come to Nashorena, but I'm not too sure of it too. I just hope and wish I'm telling a chance, and then I go back to Nashorena. Maybe I can get a day pass. I don't know, but if you want to get inside the premises, just to do easy, I will try to ask more information, but I hope to go there, and then I go there, and then we get that content that you guys need. We're going to maybe try and talk to the players. Season J, what are the plans? What are we going to do, and how are we going to survive the next coming Nedbank Cup match? I just hope the players are ready and everyone is ready. But this is it. Like a video, subscribe if you like the content, and also share it as much as possible. Peace.